Hi everyone. I just wanted to make the last video of the semester because I wanted to go through the last bit that we're going to touch on. This is just really a preview to personal finance. You'll get certainly more in-depth as you take the personal finance class as an elective. But I wanted to go over this and create a video so you knew exactly what the expectations were for this last week of school. It's hard to believe that we're even at that point, but here we are, and I know that you guys will, much like the interviews, will knock this out of the park. So as you can see, we are on Google Classroom. And we're going to click into the classwork tab. You're going to see that we've created a new topic called personal finance, and underneath that is an assignment. You'll see that there are three different documents that are linked here, and we will be going through each one of those. So your task to start with is to think about your future after you get the job. So you've been through the interview. Let's assume that you got the job that you were going for. So now what? Now, once you get a job, your real career job, you need to start thinking about your financial life afterwards and what it takes in order to be successful in that aspect, okay? So that's where this first document comes into play. If I click on that, you're going to see that it is a document. We're going to go through it just so you understand the expectations. So there's some terms to know up at the top that we will talk about that in class, but these are different terms that you are going to come across and that you need to understand the definitions of. So I wanted to include those and define those for you. Your task is to design basically what your financial life looks like after you get the job, after you graduate either high school or college and you're ready to start your future career. You get the job, now what? So this assignment is really designed to get you thinking about your financial life and really the things that you need to account for when you're out on your own. So you're going to see that underneath that, and I'll kind of scroll as we go, here are a series of resources that are going to help you, complete this graphic organizer. And these are all things that you need to think about. So if you're going into a career that requires student loans, this is a link that will help you figure that out. Calculate your monthly student loan payment. Your housing. So I want you to go on Zillow and find somewhere to live. If it's not possible for you to live independently, then you can have up to two other roommates. So that would be 3. So whatever your housing costs are, you would divide that by 3, and then that would be your monthly expense. Transportation, depending on where you live, you may need a car or you may need public transportation. Here's some links to help you with that. You're going to have to pay for your cell phone, so you're going to have to figure that out and what plan you want. You'll need to pay your utilities, your taxes, your food costs. You're going to have that as an expense. Your cable and or internet or both. Or any streaming services you may want to include if you can afford it. So these are all things that, resources that I have given to you, so it makes it a little bit easier for you in order to access that information. The next part is to complete. As you know, I love a handy graphic organizer, but this will take you through each part of those resources and provide you with questions that you need to answer. These are things that you need to think about in your financial life. So you're going to need to find an actual job and figure out how much it pays, and you're going to have to identify the cost per month or your payment per month. And then then you need to figure out everything else. So this is a worksheet. Think of it as a worksheet that will help you through that process. We're now back on the Google Classroom, and now that once you have finished that graphic organizer, you now want to go to the budgeting spreadsheet. And when you click on this, and let me move this over because this is a little wonky. There we go. You will see that there is a spreadsheet. Now this is where you're going to log in that information. So whatever your monthly income is from your paycheck, you're going to link it in here. Say that it is $5,000 a month. You're going to put that in there. It's going to populate over here on the right. Now you have expenses. So let's say your student loan is $1,200. Let's say your rent is $900, and let's say the taxes you have to pay are $750. Now I'm just pulling those randomly out of the air, but what I want to show you is that it's now going to populate over in that right-hand column. So you'll see that income are things that are coming into your bank account. Expenses are things that are being paid out or going out of your bank account. Over here, this is where you will jot in what you need to, what your expenses are. So if it's transportation, please do that. And if you had to buy a car, just label it car. Say that that's going to be, $450 a month, which is going to be very expensive for you, okay? Utilities. Say that those are $120 a month, okay? So you, from your graphic organizer where you have figured all that out, this is where you plug that in. So you'll just continue filling that out. This will continue to populate on the right-hand side. And what you want to pay close attention to is this green number. This number cannot be negative. Okay, if that number is negative, you're going to have to shift some of the things that you're able to up here. Some of the things won't shift. Maybe it won't be your paycheck. It won't be your student loans. It won't be your rent. It could be your rent if you decide that maybe you're paying too much for rent. You got to find somewhere else to live, and that's a little bit more affordable. Taxes won't change. But some of these other expenses down below, maybe you can't afford the phone right yet. Maybe you can't do cable or internet. So you have to be mindful of this bottom line, okay? And what's important to note is that this salary, you're going to enter in your occupation and you're going to enter in your salary up here at the top. That is an entry level position. You cannot come out of college or out of high school and become a CEO of a company unless you're starting your own company, which is very hard to do if you don't have financial backing. So you want to make sure that these are entry-level salaries, okay? And the reason we do that is because that's really the most authentic experience that you're going to have financially as we go through this assignment. Of course, I'm here to help if you need any help with that. But really, I think that it's pretty self-explanatory. Complete the graphic organizer, use the resources that I've provided for you, and now you're going to complete this, this spreadsheet. Now, what I want you to pay careful mind to, okay, is I'm going to get rid of some of these numbers because this is really the master that I'm on, and you will not be able to edit this master. So what you're going to need to do, if we go down to the bottom, you're going to see there's a tab that's locked that says Master. What I need you to do is you click on the little arrow and you hit Duplicate. Now this creates a new sheet. Once you do that, you can click here and write in your name. Okay, so this will be the sheet that you are working on. Okay, so it's going to be really important that you do that first, and we'll talk about that in class. The final part of this assignment is a reflection, and I'm going to click on that for you. And you're going to see that it is a reflection with 2 prompts. And I want you to do this on Flipgrid, and you'll see down below that I've given you the codes for each class. So if you're in C block, click on this code. If you're in D block, etc. Okay, so the codes are there for you. It'll take you directly to that Flipgrid assignment. But the 2 things that I want you to respond to are, 1, describe one success you had this semester and how you will use that experience in the future. And 2, describe one way in which you would like to improve and describe the steps that you will take to grow in this area. So I really want you to be thoughtful, and I want you to be reflective on those 2 prompts, okay? I want you to use Flipgrid to do this. I think it'll be just an easier way to get this done for you. But a couple requirements. Your screens must be on and the camera must be pointed at your face. I am the only one seeing these videos, so I am requiring that. I want you to respond to those 2 prompts. Your responses should be thoughtful and reflective, and each response must be at least 1 minute and 30 seconds. That's not a lot to ask of you over a semester's worth of work. What I do, maybe want to suggest is that you jot down some notes prior so that you know what you're talking about as you record your video. And again, your access codes to Flipgrid are located down below. As always, if you have any questions about an assignment, I want you to ask me. I'm always happy to help. But for this final week of school, there are, again, 3 components. You have your resources in your graphic organizer, you have your spreadsheet to plug in the numbers, and you have a Flipgrid reflection. Again, we will be working on this in class. If you need extra time, then AOT is available to you, or you may have to do some things outside of school. This is a firm deadline of Friday. I will not be accepting any work at all after Friday. So this is a very firm deadline for all of you. If you have any questions, please email me or see me in class, and I'm happy to help. Thanks.